Welcome to this video on Pursuing Peace, a devotional reflection finding God's presence in the midst of struggle, based on a study of 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 10 through 14, prepared by Geraldino Palmes. This passage reminds us that peace is a deliberate practice. Written to early Christians enduring hardship, it calls us to intentional action in our speech and our conduct. When Peter writes these words, he isn't addressing people resting in comfortable circumstances. He is writing to early Christians facing hostility, unfair treatment, and uncertainty. Yet his advice for experiencing good days isn't to fight back or retreat in fear. Instead, he highlights three practical habits of a peaceful heart. Our first pillar is to guard our words. By refusing conflict-driven speech and taming our tongue, we stop adding fuel to tension. Even in the darkest trenches of history, peaceful words have turned hostility into grace. During the Christmas truce of 1914, amid the horrors of World War I, enemy soldiers stepped out of opposing trenches into no man's land. It began not with weapons, but with words. Soft strains of Silent Night sung across the darkness. Choosing peaceful, unifying speech over hostility halted a war for a night and allowed soldiers on both sides to experience a rare, good day. Second, we must pursue peace through intentional action. Peace is not an accident. It requires active kindness, even toward those who oppose us, as demonstrated by the extraordinary forgiveness of Corrie ten Boom. When Corrie ten Boom, a Christian survivor of the Ravensbrück concentration camp, came face to face years later with one of the former Nazi guards who had treated her sister brutally, every human instinct resisted peace. Yet, choosing to obey God, she reached out and shook the guard's hand in forgiveness. She later noted that in that active step of pursuing peace, God's healing love flooded her heart. Third, trust God's watchful eye. You are never invisible to him. His ears are attentive to your prayers, just as he heard the cries of George Mueller when he provided for hundreds in need. Missionary George Mueller, who cared for thousands of orphans in 19th century England, frequently faced empty pantries with no money to buy food. One morning, with 300 children sitting at empty tables, Mueller prayed and gave thanks for breakfast, trusting God's attentive care. Minutes later, a local baker knocked on the door saying God had compelled him to bake bread all night for the orphanage, followed by a milkman whose cart broke down directly in front of their building. God's ear had heard their need before a single word of panic was uttered. In summary, the three pillars of a peaceful life are to restrain your speech, pursue the good, and rest secure in the knowledge that God is watching over you. Remember, doing what is right does not guarantee a life free from hardship. However, even when you suffer, you carry an enduring blessing that cannot be taken away: the abiding presence of God. Peter acknowledges that doing good can sometimes bring suffering or resistance. But even then, you carry a blessing that circumstance cannot strip away: the abiding presence and approval of God. Thank you for joining me for this study on 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 10 to 14. We have explored how to restrain our speech, actively pursue good, and rest secure in the knowledge that God is watching over us. My hope is that these practices become a natural rhythm in your life this week, helping you find God's presence, even when circumstances are difficult. If this study was helpful to you, I invite you to join me for our upcoming videos. I will continue to dive deeper into practical ways to live out our faith in daily life. You will not want to miss what is coming next, so stay tuned for those updates. May you go in peace, and may His grace guide your steps until we meet again.